The war of words between Donald Trump and Volodymyr Zelenskyy continues to escalate. It's not the battlefield, but it's definitely the rhetorical one. In that Truth Social post, Trump accuses Zelenskyy of being a dictator. Now, this is largely because there haven't been elections held in Ukraine due to martial law, and the domestic situation politically is getting more heightened, but obviously a stretch considering Zelenskyy was democratically elected. Zelenskyy hitting back, saying that Trump is essentially trapped in a web of Russian deception. He has called for US pragmatism, European support as well. And remember, they have a long history, these leaders, going back to Donald Trump's impeachment inquiry in his first term, and Trump is obviously not happy with Zelenskyy.
He refuses to have elections, is low in the real Ukrainian polls. I mean, how can you be high with every city is being demolished? A dictator without elections. Zelenskyy better move fast, or he's not going to have a country left. Got to move fast, because
Kyiv's main fear, of course, is that the phrase under the Biden administration would be nothing happens in Ukraine without Ukraine at the table. Well, we've just seen the Russians and the Americans sit down for the first time in over 3 years. Secretary of State Marco Rubio with his opposite number, Sergei Lavrov from Moscow, and their teams. No Europeans either, but there is Keith Kellogg, the retired general who is Donald Trump's special envoy for Ukraine in Kyiv, talking softly and suggesting that nothing has been decided yet and consultations continue.
We fence for this nation throughout, and we're going to, part of my mission is to sit and listen and say, okay, what are your concerns? Where are we at? So we can go back to the United States, talk to President Trump.
The big question now is what will happen. There is a roadmap for relations between Moscow and Washington, but nothing when it comes to any sort of ceasefire. Sir Keir Starmer, the British Prime Minister, who's due here in the next few days, has said essentially it would also require a backstop of American deterrence. Now, a lot of Ukrainians don't want two big leaders from Moscow or Washington deciding their fate.
If it was up to me, I would wipe out Trump and Putin from the face of the earth. Ukraine is our country, and it's our land. So why is it they who are deciding what we have to do and how we have to live? Why is it them who are doing all the talking?
A huge week, of course, for diplomacy. But remember, nothing has actually changed on the ground yet, despite this conflict potentially entering its fourth war. But when it comes to the rhetoric, the shuttle diplomacy, well, there are decades in which nothing happens. And as the phrase goes, there are weeks in which decades can happen too. Nathan King, CGTN, Washington.